Welcome to another edition of Very Vogue with me, Val Kleinhans, where we chat style, fashion, pop culture, all of the above. And today, the sophisticated, melanated, and educated Benjamin COY is here. You are here because you're very Vogue, sir. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me. This has been a long time coming.
It has been. Okay,
Thank
so
you so
what?
much.
I know I loved the fact that we're doing this now because we did want to do this like months ago, and
Months
then
ago.
something major happened to you. Are you okay? Let's start there.
Listen, yes, I am perfectly fine. I am so happy to be just back in a great space. But yeah, so earlier in December, I had got into a pretty bad accident, and I broke my hip. I'm probably the youngest person in America with a broken hip. I have gotten that so many times. Even my doctor was like, "You get the award for youngest person alive with a broken hip." I
Oh
will
my
take
God.
it. So all of December, I was like recovering, and just really just trying to get back to myself. And so I'm finally glad that
Yeah.
we are here today because today, honestly, has just been a wonderful day, and I just feel so
Oh,
centered. Um, and yeah. But yes, that was crazy, and I do not suggest anybody to break their hip. Don't do that, please.
no. Well, so how did you do it? What happened? Did you fall
So I was
or?
on a scooter. I'm
Uh-huh.
an advocate to not get on any more scooters.
You,
Um, no more scooters. And I went to turn the corner. The scooter went one way, I went the other way,
uh,
and ended up on the concrete with a broken hip. I've never
mm,
broken a bone. I've never been in surgery. I've never been in an ambulance. So this
yeah.
entire process was like totally new to me. But it was such a negative situation, but there are so many like positives that came out of it. And I am
Yes.
certainly the person to look at the positives. And so many great lessons about myself, about people, about the world that I
Yes.
learned. So I'm happy to be on the other side though, honey. Yeah, I will tell you that.
Oh, the recovery. Listen, I work
The
with three
recovery.
orthopedic surgeons, so I know that it's like the poor patients and what they go through. Because I hear that when they're trying to connect with their doctors, the
Yes.
medications, the gross feeling by taking all the medications, the
Yeah.
recovery time, and just wanting it to all be like over with. It's so
Yes.
frustrating. But you have not
Yes.
missed a beat. I mean, because Instagram, you came to play.
Thank
We're
you. Thank
ready.
you. Thank you. See,
You
and that's one thing I pride myself on, baby. I do not look like what I've been through.
no,
And so,
no, you
yes, I may
don't.
be in pain, but I'm certainly going to make sure I am still giving my best and making sure that my story is encouraging to other folks. So, yes,
Of
yes. But thank you.
course.
Thank you. I am doing my best. I appreciate that.
I mean, your story is definitely one of Black excellence, and that's one of the reasons that I wanted to bring you on. Let's talk about that sense of style, the story, the work you're doing now, where you're headed in the future, all of it. Let's start with the sense of style because it is
Okay.
fabulous. Where does that come
Thank
from?
you. Honestly and truly, my mother and my
Mm.
grandparents. So I am a grandma's boy. I went
Yeah.
everywhere with my grandmother when I was younger. She was in a sorority. I went to all her sorority meetings. I went to all her church meetings. I literally, wherever she moved, I moved. I have a nickname. I'm her shadow, basically.
Yeah.
And so I used to love watching them, my mom and my grandparents get dressed. Even my granddad, actually, I used to love just watching them get dressed and like the art of getting dressed, how they picked out their clothes, depending on what event they were going to, like the details, the earrings, to the bag, to the hats, because I'm from the South, so my grandma loved a good hat.
Mm.
So
Yes.
I think that just watching them prepare is kind of what infiltrated me. And so there's always an ease, well, not an ease, there's always, I love classic silhouettes. And so that is
Mm.
something that I've definitely learned from them.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I'd say my own style is definitely the foundation in them, but just a reflection of my personality, honestly. I love vibrancy, I love color, I love patterns, I love just anything that has personality. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the best part about fashion is that you can get creative with colors,
Yes.
with print mixing. I mean,
Yes.
it took me some time to get out of like my email goth phase and
Okay.
AKA other things but black. I mean, I
Okay,
still
okay.
we love a black moment, but
We
we're adding
do.
to it.
We do.
We
We do.
we we do we do, but it's adding to that and
Yeah.
enjoying everything that's out there and available
Yes.
because that expands over time as well. So your social media journey, I mean, it's been around for 2 decades now. We've all been using it. It's part of our daily lives. Where does that begin for you? Because for me, it started with radio and blogging back in the day.
So I started social media with Instagram. Actually, was my very
Mm,
first platform. Um, and it was really, really big when I was in like the early teens, early preteens.
mhm.
And so I was a part of the generation that was doing the shout out for shout outs. I was in another conversation. I said the
Yes.
same thing. I was every Monday, every Tuesday, whatever the theme of the day was, I was on Instagram doing that. And so I just started to enjoy the platform, right? I enjoyed
Mm,
the connectivity that I had. I was talking to people who were in California. I was talking to people who were in Texas,
I
and some of
know.
them still to this day, I've been able to continue to connect with. And recently, actually, I met one of them at Fashion Week, which was a full circle moment.
Yes.
But so that was really the journey into social media. I did also have a blog in college, which I started, thebenjamincoy.com or .blog, which is where I gained a lot of my platform as a commentator or as someone who just has a voice in the space. And that was so much fun. I've always enjoyed talking about fashion. It was fashion, entertainment news, and lifestyle. And I loved talking about just how I was putting things together, how I was showing up 100%. Love talking about Beyonce because I'm a Beyonce fan.
All
That makes
day.
me
All day.
um,
Period.
and just whatever I was going through as a 20-year-old college student. And so that is really where the foundation began. And then everything
Mm.
else just like soared from there.
Okay, let's talk about the work behind all of that, because
Mhm.
honey, it will keep us it will
Yes.
keep us busy, and it is
Yes.
constant. And
Yes.
I always love hearing about the hustle. You're making moves on TV in the DMV, you're doing interviews at New York Fashion Week. What does pursuing those opportunities look like behind the scenes? Are we emailing people? Are we reaching out in the DMs? What does the work really look like to make those things
Yeah.
happen?
It is certainly that. It is certainly emailing, reaching out in the DMs. It's connecting. I learned very early that people want to connect with you
Mm,
first, like you, the person. They want to connect with you, the person first. And so that is what I always try to do when I am reaching out, finding something that we have in common. What is a relationship that we can start, right? Um, so with New York Fashion Week, I was an intern with the Harlem's Fashion Row, and really great organization. They platform a lot of Black designers in so many different ways. They support a lot of budding Black designers. But I was interning with them, and actually, my intern coordinator, I both of them, I just ended up just really enjoying them personally, and
yeah,
we became friends over social. And so they became the founders of the event that I was hosting or doing the red carpet with. And
okay.
after seeing the work that I was doing on social and in the media space, in the fashion space, they invited myself and my co-host to come and do those red carpet interviews, which was amazing and a fabulous time. And
Yes.
then my tip for news interviews is the same thing. Finding reporters, finding journalists who have similar interests or have interest of things that you want to talk about, and just cold emailing them. They love emailing. They love their work is always to source news stories, but they love when you bring it to them.
Mm,
And so literally, like, I just emailed them and said, "Hey, I am in the area. I love this. I love this, love this, love that. And I would love to be featured if you all have any openings." And so from there, that relationship blossomed. And so now I'm actually going to be on again coming up soon. And so I'm excited for that relationship. So yeah, it's just putting yourself out there. Just
mhm.
don't be afraid. DM, email, whatever you can. Network down. Your network is your net worth. Okay.
Yes,
And
we
so
know this.
that's really how a lot of that happens, along with, of course, the work that you have to put in as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's part of it.
It's all of the above. I mean, and a lot of
Yeah.
us are scared to take that initial step. A lot of us are scared to reach out in those ways because we don't know
Yeah.
what the reception is going to be on the other end.
Yes.
We might be afraid of that rejection. We don't know how
Mhm.
it's going to go. Was that ever a concern for you?
Oh, absolutely.
So how did you I mean, I've been there too.
Absolutely.
So how did you get over that?
Yeah.
And how did you get the balls to say, I don't care. I'm just going to do it?
You want me to be very, very honest?
Yes, do it.
I wrote the email and then I timed it. I
Oh,
wrote the email and then I scheduled it to be sent for whatever, like a Monday at whatever time,
okay.
because I knew that if I were to sit there and then send the email, I probably would hesitate. I probably would
Okay.
be like, oh, they're not going to respond. They're not going to care. Nobody's going to care. Or people are going to look at me about this. I literally was like, you know what? I'm just going to schedule it so I don't even have to think about all of that. And so then when they responded, it was very joyful. Like, oh my God,
Yeah.
oh my God. Oh my God. And it also just takes reminding yourself that like if you don't go after it, then it's not going to come to you.
Yeah.
You can manifest, you can pray, you can dream, but it's what is it? Dream, believe, seek, or dream, seek, retreat. One of those things,
Hmm.
you have to seek it out. So I
Yeah.
had to remind myself of that part and, not thinking about people's expectations or
Hmm.
how they would react to it, but
Yeah.
really doing it for myself. So yeah.
See, and that's on that is on authenticity. That is on I need my hustle to go. That
Hello.
is I'm trying to get where I need to be because
Hello.
I have been through that the
Mhm,
same so many times. So many
mhm,
times. I felt like should I send this email because I only have so many followers. I only have so many downloads on my
mhm.
podcast. Who's going to care about that? Well, I don't know the answer to that, and that's actually
Yeah.
the beauty of it. Because
Yes.
I don't know how it's going to be received, and because their opinion is going to be subjective, all
Mhm.
I have to do is put myself out there and let them be the
Hello.
ones that decide.
Yes.
It
Yes.
took me a while to see that.
Mhm. And remembering that you putting yourself out there is likely helping somebody else. Like
Could be.
you finding the courage to do that is also someone else is gonna be like, okay, well, Val did it. I also have these same aspirations. Let me get in the studio, let me get in the lab and go see if I can do it as well. You're also
Mhm.
giving and so that was also like encouraging to me as well that I know that there's someone else who's gonna look at this and be like, I'm gonna be able to go do this soon too. So yes, all
Yeah.
of that.
And keep it moving and keep it consistent.
And keep
You're a
it consistent.
podcaster. You're a podcaster yourself, Cocktails and Culture. So
Yes.
fun. Love the show. What
Yes.
made you want to dive into that as like another medium that you're
Yeah.
tackling?
Great question. Yes, another medium. Great. So I've always wanted to go into podcasting. And I started actually before Content and Culture came around, I started two others. Um,
Oh, okay.
and my schedule, I was in school, so my schedule was crazy. I couldn't be consistent with it. I was one of those people that I didn't have the right equipment, so I felt like, it's too much. And so when I moved to the DC area, I met one of my closest friends now, Brigitte, and she's my co-host. And she actually came
Hmm.
to me in 2022 and was like, hey, we have these fabulous conversations.
Yes.
What is 2022? Yeah, 2022. She said we have these fabulous conversations, and I know there's people out there who would love to join in on them. Let's start a podcast. And I was like, girl, you're right. Let's do it. And so that's really how it started. It helps that both of us are in the media communications realm as well. So as far as
Hmm.
the back end is concerned, with the editing and the promotion, like it's not just myself doing it. We are truly a team, and so that
Yeah.
also helps too. But yeah, that's what really I just always wanted to. I knew that I had a voice. It was just finding my niche, finding the people to support, finding
Mhm.
what I really wanted that voice to be. I knew that I had it in me, just had to tap into it. So yeah.
Yeah, and the right partner, because that was going to be my other
Yeah.
question. How did you know Brigitte was going to be a great partner in this?
Yeah.
Well, you just answered it. You had the conversations. You had the
Yes.
conversations that were there already. You knew you
Yeah.
could trust each other already. You knew that
Mhm.
you both had the know-how, at least when it came to putting the content together and
Yeah.
putting it out there on social media. That's a huge
Absolutely.
help.
That
Well, I mean,
is.
so what would you say to anybody that's trying to do this and has no frame of reference as to where to start?
I would listen to other podcasts or listen to other whatever you want to start, research it. See what other people are doing. Don't copy other people, but see what other people are doing, seeing how they are moving. Do your research, read, write it down. Please write it
Mm.
down. Read, watch YouTube videos. If you're a YouTube studier like I am sometimes, go watch your YouTube videos, go watch your TikTok videos, and get a basic knowledge in it, right?
Yeah,
From there, start it. Do
just
it.
go.
Just go. Don't get caught up in, again, I don't have the right equipment or I don't have the right this, I don't have the right that. If you have the idea, figure out how to do it and then just do it.
Yeah,
That's half the battle. That's my
because all
advice.
all that's going to come later. I mean, I will own the fact and be transparent about the fact that when it came to podcasting because I had all
Mhm.
of the equipment already being in
Yeah.
radio.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had the editing programs, had the mic, had the hookup. It was just a matter of me saying to myself, I'm ready, let's go.
Yeah.
But I fully understand that like not everybody has it, not everybody has, the ability to go into it. So I mean,
Mhm.
you could look
Mhm.
for anything. You could look for hosting sites to help you push that out to Spotify and Apple
Yes.
Podcasts. I mean, there's so many things, and you
Mhm.
can learn a lot from YouTube and social media too.
Yes,
Totally,
it's
completely get
it's a
that.
great tool. It's not just entertainment sometimes, y'all. It is
No,
research purposes. You can cite it.
you
It is a
for
credible
real.
source at times. But yes, yes, all of that because research to find all there are simple hacks or there are simple platforms that make it easy to do it. You just have to research
Mm,
and find it. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
And if you don't think you have the right equipment right away, you can always bring that in later. As
Yes.
as the coin adds up, I mean, you can bring it in later.
You can bring it in
It
later.
doesn't
Baby, the
matter.
microphone on your iPhone is probably just as good as this one that I'm using right now. Go into a
Yeah,
closet. Go into a closet so that the sound is muted or the outside sound is muted, baby, and you can have the
right.
best sound there. So you
Simple.
don't need to have top A studio equipment. You just need to have something that's going to get your voice out there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I definitely wanted people to hear that, and especially hear from me, because sometimes people look at me like, "You already had this," and I'm like, "I
Yeah.
did, but I also grew it over time."
Yes.
And
Yes.
and
Yes.
anybody can do that. There is access
Mhm,
out there if you seek it.
mhm.
One of the questions that I definitely wanted to ask you was your favorite pop culture moment of the past year, because I think we might have some in common, and I've already got some on my mind. I mean, for
Oh my
me, Sutton
goodness.
hitting us with Name 'em on
Name them.
Beverly Hills. Name 'em. Name 'em. Oh
Name
my
them.
God.
Name them. I have been saying that. Oh my goodness, that is such a good listen. The past year has been has been a blur. There's so much that's happened. We had the Montgomery Brawl. That was good for
Yes.
the culture. But right now, actually, I really am getting into, or I really have gotten into the Who Did I Marry? The series on TikTok. I don't know if you
Oh, okay. Yes. And you just
listen. So if you have not gotten into it, I'm gonna try and explain with no spoilers. But
Yeah.
basically, this woman met someone like met a man 2 weeks before the pandemic.
Mhm.
They ended up quarantining together, and from there had a relationship, a romantic relationship. They ended up getting married, and in the midst of the marriage, she found out that basically that he was a liar and lied to her
Ooh.
about a lot of things, a lot of things. And so that has really been, it's 50 parts though. That's the catch. It is 50 parts on TikTok. It is a playlist, but it's like an audiobook. Like it's like a
Yeah.
podcast, really. And I really been getting into that because it's good entertainment for pop culture, one.
Mhm.
It is also a cautionary tale for people who are looking for love in all the wrong places,
Mhm.
hashtag.
Mhm.
And it's also very interesting on the back end as a social media manager, just how the landscape of short-term versus long-term media is changing because we all
Yes.
sit there and watch 50 10-minute videos to get the entire story. And they're telling us that our attention span is only 30 seconds, but we all sit there. So that's, I think, honestly, that has been my number one as of now that I can think of right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that hits on a new way to use TikTok that we haven't thought of before. Because
Yep.
I don't know any other 50-part series out there,
No,
but it's
no.
giving and we're here for it and we watch it.
Yes. Yes, yes, and they
It's a new
have
way
what's
to do
funny is
it.
that they have the technology to do it. So she put it all in a playlist. And usually we've been doing, we're making playlists for things that are like content. So if I
Mhm.
do Get Ready with Me's, I'll put all my Get Ready with Me's in this folder. If I do fashion commentary from award show, I'll put all those in that folder. She did that same thing, but made it a series that you have to watch down, down, down. So yes, it's really been fun to see, like I said, see that switch. Yeah.
Who else are you watching right now? What else are you watching right now?
So I'm really watching Impact New York. One of
Mm.
my favorite influencers, Scott Louis, is one of the cast. So it's a new, well, this franchise is new for New York City. They also have one in Atlanta, so I've been watching that. I am late on the train. I'm just now getting into Insecure, or just now finishing up Insecure. When it came out, I don't know, I was in college, so I was focused on
Yeah.
college, focused on, so I didn't even think about it, but really getting into that. And of course, okay, of course, I'm watching Real Housewives of Potomac. That is my
Yes.
all-time favorite reality TV show.
Mhm.
And so I've really been in the weeds every Sunday. So those are, I'll say those are three top, and Abbott Elementary.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's next on my list to start. Lately for me, it's been Love is Blind and it's been Beverly Hills. I'm in the
Yes.
middle
Okay.
of that. Yeah.
Okay. Now Beverly Hills, I need to catch up. I'm behind.
Okay.
I'm so behind, and I'm so sorry to all the BH fans out there. I need to catch up. I think I left off. I left off when they introduced Anne Marie. I think that was the last.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, so I need to
Yeah.
catch up with their trip to Spain and the rising
Yeah.
and falling action of that. So yes, I'm behind. And then also, what was the other one you said?
Love is Blind.
Love is Blind. So I've been seeing the stir on social media about Love is Blind. I need to
Yes.
get into I need to get into that too. But I when it comes to love shows, I am more of a Married at First Sight.
Okay. No, that was the New Orleans season of Married at First Sight. Listen,
The New
that was one
Orleans,
of my favorite one. That was
the
definitely it.
Houston one,
Yeah.
like it's crazy. Yeah, yeah. But maybe I'll get into Love is Blind. You know what? You're the third person, so that means I need to watch it. Yeah.
It's well, I
I need to
started
watch it.
I did start it with season 1, and
Okay.
then I was like, "Okay, love the concept." And
Yes.
I kept watching season 5, dumpster fire, did not like it. There was no substantial couples. Like there were no couples with like substance. It just
Mhm.
seemed very fake. It seemed like everybody was trying to be on TV at that
Yeah.
moment. That was my perception. And 5 seasons in, I think that naturally is going to happen. Because
Yes.
now we know the show, now we know what it does, now we're seeing that the followers come, the ratings come, now we're
Mhm.
seeing that it's something to invest our time in. This
Yeah.
season though is Charlotte. So I'm extra
Really?
invested because my brother lives just outside Charlotte. So I'm kind of familiar with the culture, kind of familiar with how it rolls.
Mhm.
And I'm just loving the fact that there's more couples to root for this season.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. We're in the middle of it right now. It's not done yet. But
Oh. Oh,
one
so
of the
the whole series, I mean the whole season is not on Netflix? Like they release it on certain dates?
They do. Every other, like every
Okay.
Wednesday, they put out so many
Okay.
episodes, and we're in the middle of it right now. So season 6 is
Okay.
not over, so there's still
Oh, so I have
time to
time to catch
get
up.
into it. You do.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I'll do that.
So it's not over yet. We're still catching up. Everybody's talking about the fact that one of the contestants is comparing her looks to Megan Fox. That was the big,
Okay, girl. I'm gonna have to look at
which
that. I'm gonna have to see, honey. What's the comparison for real now?
I mean, I personally I don't see it, but
Mhm.
I wasn't upset with the fact that she said it. Or no, that's
Mhm.
what I wanted to say. I was kind of upset the fact that she revealed anything about her looks at all because that goes against the concept and the experiment itself.
Oh. Oh, so
That's what
she's
I had
that's
the issue with.
right. Okay, I
That's
understand.
what I had the issue with. Everybody else was like, "Who and what in the whole grain gluten-free audacity is this? You comparing yourself to Megan Fox?" Like that was that was where
Okay,
we
but
had
now
the
in your
issue.
opinion, does she actually compare to like does she look like Megan Fox for
No,
real?
no, the eyes maybe. The eyes
Okay.
maybe.
Okay. She
But
should have been more specific.
she should well, but the thing is she was, and everybody took it. You know how we do on the internet. Everybody took it like it was this massive thing. She never said specifically, I think I look like Megan Fox. She said
Mm.
other people have compared me to her.
Oh, okay. It's in the
So
words, y'all. Words mean
it is in
things.
the words, and so
Yes.
we took that and ran without really looking at it in the words. That's something that I think we forget with reality TV, that it's edited a certain way.
Wake
We
it
don't
up.
always catch the specific words. I mean,
Yep.
has there ever been a show where you felt kind of like duped or bummed by it?
Yes. So I'm watching Married to Medicine also. That's another
Yeah.
Bravo show. And Married to Medicine has so it comes out on Sunday, and then some of the castmates um go on live the day either during the show or the day after the show.
Okay.
And in all of the lives, they're always like, oh wait, this actually happened this day, and this has been cut up to make this. Same thing with the Impact New York with the
Right.
influencer Scott Lou that I was talking about, the stylist. He's going on live or going on TikTok and explaining like what actually happened because now like the perception of things is kind of messing with him, and it's not fair at
Mm,
all. So yeah,
yeah.
I see that. Yeah, and that's crazy.
It is, and the hate that sometimes they get online with
Yes,
for something
it's
that
not warranted.
no, a lot of
Mm.
the time it's not warranted. It's just
Not
because of an
always.
edit.
Yes. Hmm.
Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not. And a lot, but a
Yeah.
lot of the times it comes from the edit and the glimmer
Blame
that we're
it on
seeing
the
on TV.
edit.
Blame it on the edit. I mean, but for
Yeah.
real, that's how it is. Have you ever experienced negativity on your social media platforms and what you're doing when you put yourself out there? How do you respond to it when you do get it?
Yeah, I have, and it is really discouraging, honestly and truly,
Hmm.
because it does take so much to put yourself out there. Let's just say that. It
Hmm.
takes so much to put yourself out there and be open. I will never forget the first time that I went to New York Fashion Week. I was so excited, had a wonderful
Of
time.
course.
And I was so excited to share all my looks and just my experience on social. And somehow, some way, a somebody got through the cracks and was just saying all these negative things about myself as a gay man and just how I present to the world. And it was very disheartening because I feel like I have a circle of friends and family who are so supportive.
Yeah.
Um, but and because of that, I do forget that there are those people who are not. And so it was very difficult. I mean, he was in the comments
Mm,
crazy, talking
mm,
crazy mess.
mm.
And it was just it was as simple as just swiping and deleting and continue to delete, but
Yeah.
it did have an impact on myself and how much I wanted to share and how vocal I wanted to be about things. And so for a second, yes, I did take a step back. But then I came back even stronger. And I said, "Oh no, baby, you're not about to get me down. Let me
Oh.
tell you how I'm about to shine even better." And so yeah, I hate negativity of any kind. And I feel like I'm such a positive person and I try to be because the world is scary and the world has so much negativity. And so I try to make sure that I am not a part of anything
No.
that's bringing negativity to the world. So yeah, but that was a mess and a half.
Yeah. What keeps you going in those moments? Just your desire to further yourself?
The desire to further myself, I'd say, is secondary.
Mm,
I'd say what is primary is reminding myself that I feel like I do have a voice
mhm.
and that my story is helping someone else. And so it's another I don't know if I can describe it actually, but I know that me being a trailblazer, I am certainly blazing the trail for others to come behind me, right? So
Mhm.
I'm thinking about some of the students that I went to school with in college, right? I was so nervous about being as open as I was. But I see students now who are 10 times more open with who they are and open with their experience, open with their sexualities. And it inspires me to keep trailblazing so that they can continue to have wonderful experiences and continue to have easier experiences. And that they, in their own right, because it's not going to stop with me, that they continue to then blaze the trail for generations that's coming behind them. So that is what really continues to push me forward.
Yeah.
And then it's secondary to me wanting push my own self and be, have my own self-proclaimed situations or,
Yeah.
experiences. Yeah, that's
I
secondary.
re- I relate to that too. I mean, of course, we
Yeah.
want to do what we can to provide for ourselves, but we also want to be that person that I think we looked up to when we were younger,
Yes.
or that we needed
Yes.
when we were younger.
Yes.
Because
Yes. I
some
often
of us
think
have
that.
that. Yeah, some of us have that. Some of us don't. I didn't have it until I saw like Avril Lavigne and Kat Von D. I mean, for me, those were
Mm,
those women that I
yeah.
was like, oh, okay, there is a space for somebody who I vibe with a little bit better. Who
Yeah.
were those people for you? Did anybody inspire you in those
Oh my
ways?
goodness, I'm so glad you asked this. Yes, so many. Okay, so first of all, Miss J
Mm,
Alexander from America's Next
yes,
Top Model. Honey, when I saw
yes.
Miss J, I said, "Oh, I love you. I love everything about you." Miss J was certainly one. Miss Lawrence, who was another season regular on the Real Housewives of
Oh,
Atlanta.
then I remember. Yeah.
Listen, I think I take a lot of inspiration from their fashion as well, I'll say.
Hmm.
Them, let's see, who else? Um, Oh, Noah's Ark.
Oh.
Noah's Ark is a television show that came out in the early 2000s about four Black gay men living in Los Angeles and just how they lived.
Oh,
There was
okay.
one character specifically whose name is Noah. Oh, the
We
main
got there.
character.
We got there. Yeah.
Yes, Noah definitely was one of those people that I looked up to and was like, "Oh my God, that looks just like me. Like
Yeah.
you act just like me. We kind of have similar experiences growing up, and." Yeah, they are the trailblazers for me, and so they I feel like they passed the torch to me, and so now I'm carrying it and I'm passing it back to the girls behind me. So yeah,
That's the goal. So what's
yeah.
next for you? What can we look forward to coming from you, from the podcast, anything?
Well, from the podcast, we are so excited to just continuing to have conversations. We are in season 3. We just had an episode, or our first episode of the season was with Preston Mitchum from Summer's House, Martha's Vineyard. That was
Mhm.
a fabulous episode, and we got into a lot of things from their first season from the show. So that was really really wonderful. So we're continuing to have conversations to platform Black creatives, platform Black entrepreneurs, and just platform conversations that we don't have enough, right?
Mhm.
From me, I just want to continue to be a light, continue to in whatever that is. I have a couple of fashion shows coming up in March, April, May. And so please look at my social for whenever those are ready to be announced. And just continue, like I said, just continue to be a light, continue to be and remind people of their authenticity and the power that they hold. Um, that's what I'm really, really excited for in the
Yeah.
future.
And why it's important for the rest of the world to see their brand of light.
Yes.
Period.
Yes, absolutely.
Period.
Period.
Thank you so much for being here, Benjamin. I'm so glad we made the time to do this. I can't wait to see what's next. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Val. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.